the former SOB, the son of the boss, and now the FOB, the father of the bride, Kevin Richards.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wasn't going to do this by memory because I know my memory doesn't work very well. So good evening. Thank you all for joining Bev and me, as well as Josh's mom and dad, Debbie and Dave, at this magnificent event. I know a lot of you have come a long way to celebrate with us tonight. We welcome you and hope you all have a marvelous time tonight. Before I begin, there's a couple thank yous I need to say too. First, Father Dave did a terrific job at the wedding. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to my beautiful wife, Beverly, for raising a wonderful daughter, despite my interventions, and also for helping arrange tonight's festivities. And to Melissa, thank you. Thank you for making me a better person. And thank you for making me a better father. Sorry, I have to breathe a little in between. You've been a true inspiration to me, and I adore you very much. You know, this night actually began a long time ago at a father-daughter dance when Melissa was in 3rd or 4th grade. We were dancing to Butterfly Kisses. And I began to realize she won't be my little girl much longer. Someday soon I'll be walking her down the aisle. Well, today is that day. Today she made a promise to a terrific young man. And she's moving on to a new and exciting time in her life. As the song says, I know I've got to let her go, but I'll always remember. Every hug in the morning and butterfly kisses at night. I've been told by many that this would be a very difficult day for me, as my favorite oldest daughter gets married. Not at all. It's the happiest day of my life. These two work so well together, it's fantastic. 10 more pages. They make a wonderful couple. They just look in love. They look happy. If you watch the two of them, you can see it's very obvious how much they love each other. Tonight's the culmination of 27 years. I've learned a lot from Melissa over those 27 years. She's an amazing young lady. She never let anyone get in the way of what she believed. When she believed it was right, including me. She worked very, very hard at everything. When she wanted to become good at something, she became good at it. So I thought I'd give you a little background on my relationship with Melissa. Most of you know how Bev and I traveled all over the Midwest watching Melissa play basketball. You saw the WNBA ball out there. It was a big part of our life. One time in 7th or 8th grade, Melissa and I were on our way to Culver, Indiana. She was playing in a 2-day tournament. And she asked me if I'd drive her home after today's game. Of course, I said, no way. I'm not going to drive 90 miles home and 90 miles back so you can go to a birthday party. Well, that was when the negotiating began. She's very good at negotiating. We agreed that if she scored 14 points, I would take her home that night and bring her back in the morning. Of course, I knew she never scored more than 6 points in her entire life.
Take it to the basket!
So, as I was sitting quietly in the stands, as I always do, and almost as soon as the game began, she scores the first 2 points. She looks right at me with this big smile on her face. And she goes like this, right in the middle of the game. A couple seconds later, she goes like this. I knew I was in trouble. My mistake at halftime was telling George. George, where are you, George?
He's back here.
Thank you, George. So I'm looking up that guy to go tell the coach. Told the team, told every single person in the gym. They were all going nuts. Every time she scored, our side would go nuts. We were killing the other team. They were still going nuts. Their parents thought we were nuts too. Well, she had 12 points, seconds left in the game. She knew she needed 2 more points to go home. She was on a fast breakaway to the basket, had a defender on her tail. She knew when she shot, she'd be fouled almost immediately. She goes up, she fakes the shot, she passes underneath to an open teammate who scores the final 2 points. I took her home that night. That was one of the many times in her life where she works extremely hard to get what she wants. And she always gets what she wants. Keep that in mind. Then the unthinkable happened. Bev and I were having a nice conversation. And she slips in this fact that Melissa met a young man named Josh. And it was becoming a very serious relationship. We debated this back and forth for quite a while. And she looks at me and she asks, "Do you believe in magic?" I like that guy. I remember those were Bev's exact words. Of course I believe in magic. But this is my Melissa we're talking about. Wasn't his yet. So the next time Melissa and I talked, I asked her about Josh. She's almost giddy. I can almost hear music in the background, playing as we spoke. That's when I knew I was really in trouble. Because as most fathers think, without even meeting the young man, there's no way he's good enough for my daughter. I don't care. And for the first time in my life, the very first time in my life, I would be wrong. Sit down, Beth. Melissa found a truly wonderful man, and now they're planning to spend the rest of their lives together. Doesn't get any better than this. I'm sure there'll be good days and bad days in their marriage, but I'm also sure this marriage will be a success for 3 reasons. First, they invited God into their marriage. Second, they both come from very large, loving families. Oh boy.
He's 4.
And third, they have great friends, most of whom are behind them. We're here to help and support Melissa and Josh, as Dan said, in any way. You need something? You let him know.
It was Eric.
That was Eric. They're both going to be there to help and support, right? Well, as I said earlier, this night actually began back at the father-daughter dance in 1994. was this morning, and again this afternoon. And as I was walking her down the aisle, I looked back at my time as her father, and I knew all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve your love every morning and butterfly kisses. I couldn't ask God for more. This is what love is.